Salutations, everybody. Happy V-Day, Valentine's Day for you. We're here going over NXT TakeOver Vengeance. Should be a good show. Should be a quick show because it actually started at 7. I thought it was going to start at 8. So, right out the gate, it starts with the pre-show, obviously. And we didn't get a pre-show match. Not any match that I saw anyway. You know, I did kind of come in like halfway through the pre-show. Well, as soon as I turned on the pre-show, I did see, surprise, surprise, Eli Drake, or as he's known now as L.A. Knight. He made his NXT debut. Everybody that, if you used to watch TNA, used to watch Impact, you know him as Eli Drake from Impact, you know, with the mic skills and everything. So apparently he's on the NXT roster now. He's going to be a part of the show. And I'm actually looking forward to that because, like, you know, he's a good dude. He's a veteran. He could definitely work the mic. He has good wrestling ability. So he's going to add a lot to that locker room. So I'm definitely excited to see where this goes. So aside from that, you know, things kicked underway, and let's talk about the opening match for Vengeance. So the opening match was the women's finals match for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Surprise, surprise, they did this thing. They did the old Atlanta, Georgia Omni WCW thing where they had the long ramp going from the curtain all the way to the ring. AEW does that as well, where they have the ramp. I was never a fan of the ramp. Like, I always thought the ramp was stupid because it keeps you from being able to run all the way around the ring, but because this is a pay-per-view, I guess they were trying to do something like different to try to like spruce up the arena, because it is the same arena that they keep using for every single show. So it does add, like, you know, a difference to it, and, you know, because it was a black ramp. So it did kind of add, you know, like a different flavor to it. So again, we had Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon versus Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. So, you know, in the end, you know, obviously they did use the ramp to their advantage. There was a moment where Ember Moon got thrown over the top rope and she landed on the ramp. You know, she was kind of like out for the count. You know, Raquel Gonzalez threw Dakota Kai on top of Shotzi, where Shotzi clearly like pulled herself into position. But in the end, with the one hand choke slam, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez win the first ever women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And I'm kind of surprised by that because they did say that whoever won would get a future women's tag team championship title match. And right now the tag champions are Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. I actually thought Ember Moon and Shotzi were going to win this because I didn't think they were going to do, you know, like heel tag team versus heel tag team. And I honestly don't see Lana and Naomi beating Shayna and Nia for the tag titles. But who knows? You know, like we could, Naomi and, you know, Lana could actually win the tag titles, which will then give us a match between Naomi, Lana versus Shotzi Blackheart and Raquel Gonzalez. Or they're just going to do like the heel versus heel thing. But we'll have to see. So, like I said, good opening match to Vengeance, and we're moving right on to the next match. Next up for the North American Championship, North America, Johnny Gargano versus Kushido. I wasn't really like, you know, going in. I wasn't really interested in this match going in because, to be honest, you know, they did the whole thing with Johnny like winning the championship and then losing the championship in his first title defense. So I feel like he's going to hold on to the belt for a while, and he's going to have somewhat of a decent title run before they eventually take the title from him. And it just never felt like it was Kushida's time. So, you know, but to start the match, when the match started, like Johnny comes out, he comes out with the way, everybody except Austin Theory. So he's trying to figure out where Theory is. The girls don't know where Theory is. He tells the girls to go look for Theory, and then he gets in the ring, which is kind of good because it got the girls like out of the way. It got rid of all the interference, and it just allowed both of them just to have a straight up one-on-one wrestling match. And again, you know, the ramp comes into play. You know, like the people, you know, the springboards and the dives into the cage. Kushido came to play. Definitely can't deny that. But again, like I said, I was right. And in the end, you know, Johnny hit that springboard DDT in the middle of the ring. Bam, he put Kushida down for the 1-2-3. I'm not sure if I mean, I want to feel like this title, like this whole thing with Kushida, I want to feel like it's over. You know, maybe I feel like they're going to slowly go away from Kushida now, and Dexter Lumis is going to be the one to challenge Johnny for the title going forward, because after this, I don't see how you can justify Kushida getting another shot at the title. You know, he didn't even like win by disqualification to justify like having another match later. So again, like I feel like they're ready to move on from that, and, you know, obviously Dexter Lumis is going to have something to do with the fact that why Austin Theory wasn't even at the ring, you know, wasn't at ringside, and they'll slowly go from Austin Theory to Johnny, and eventually we'll get Johnny and Lumis. But let's have a good match. Can't even, you know, you can't deny, like, it was a good wrestling match by both guys, and we'll see where the storyline goes moving forward. Okay, this next one was a bit of a shock. It was the men's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Finals. MSK versus those grizzled young veterans. And, you know, I was talking to my brother, you know, about this earlier, and he was telling me, you know, he was just like, he was like, you don't think MSK can pull it off? And I was like, no, because, like, I didn't think they were going to win because, you know, they're new. like, they're the young guys, they're like the rookies, they're the young kids, the grizzled young veterans are the veteran team. But then when I saw that Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez won the women's, I was like, well, they're not going to do like a double heel victory. So, but I was like, but I don't see them giving MSK the victory because like they're like, they just got here. But lo and behold, I was wrong. And I can admit I was wrong. They did pick up the ring, they picked up the win, which was a very good match. It was a good showing by them. Like the Doomsday Device, like they did to one of them onto the floor. Those reverse Hurricanranas, like those things are wicked. And both teams really showed out here tonight. The Grizzled Young Veterans showed why they are, considered like young veterans. They represented for the UK, but at the end of the day, congrats to MSK. They are now officially the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classics champions, which means that now they should be awarded a future title opportunity for the NXT Tag Team titles, which would be them going up against Oney Lorcan and Burch, which would honestly be a good match. It would be like the high flying versus like the brute strength, and like the brawlers versus like the young kids, the athleticism versus the strength. So I'm actually looking forward to that. Like I really want to see what goes on with this match. So congrats to them, and we'll see what feuds they can pick up and carry this momentum going forward. Second to last was the NXT Women's Championship match, triple threat match. Toni Storm, Io Shirai, and Mercedes Martinez. And for me, I was actually on the Mercedes Martinez bandwagon. I was rooting for Mercedes Martinez. I mean, I like Io Shirai, I like Toni Storm, but I don't know, there was just something about Mercedes Martinez that it felt like after, the 20-something years that she's been in the business, for her to get the shot being in NXT, being in Retribution, dropping out of Retribution, and now having a chance to fight for the title at one of the biggest stages in an NXT pay-per-view. It kind of felt like it was her moment in her time. But unfortunately, it's like, I say that, and she's the one who ended up taking the pin. The match was surprisingly short. There were moments where, someone jumped off the scaffolding and everything, but, I was, the length of the match was a surprise to me. I don't know if maybe somebody got hurt, or if the match was just never planned to go that far anyway, but, Toni hit her Storm Zero, and then, Io Shirai came off the top rope, with, she did the moonsault. She came off the top rope with the moonsault, because Toni Storm had pinned, Mercedes Martinez. Io Shirai hit the moonsault on Toni Storm while she was on top of Mercedes. Toni very what's the word I'm looking for? Choreographically rolled off of Mercedes Martinez, and then Io Shirai went on top of Mercedes. She got the 1-2-3 pin, and I don't know where Io Shirai goes from now, because because I figured like they would do the Mercedes Martinez feud, and then they would go into the Toni Storm feud if Io Shirai won. They gave us both matches at the same time, so now that she beat both girls, there's no reason to justify the other one getting a rematch. And then Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, they're in the tag team situation now, so I don't know who's left, unless there's like a new girl that's going to debut or something, but we'll see what happens. But Io Shirai got the victory today, and we'll see who her next challenger is going to be, or how this feud continues going on Wednesday. And finally, the last match of the night, NXT Heavyweight Championship, Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne. And just as you would think between a match between these two guys, it was very violent. It was very aggressive. Somebody got their fingers snapped, they got their fingers broken. There were a lot of, gunshots and, drop zones. And what was important was not so much the match itself, but the ending. Finn Balor ends up retaining the NXT Heavyweight Championship. And then while he's in the ring, celebrating, obviously Pete Dunne's boys, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch shows up, and then the three of them start putting the boots to one Finn Balor. Now, it was at that moment where I was just like, oh yeah, because up until this point throughout the entire show, we haven't seen the Undisputed Era. So naturally, in that situation, we all knew the Undisputed Era was going to come out, and they did, minus Bobby Fish, which I thought was odd because he was actually there on Wednesday. So, Undisputed Era comes out, they take care of Pete Dunne and the gang, they get him out the ring, they help up, Finn Balor, and then, the four of them, shake hands, hug, the music starts playing, they do the Undisputed, Era pose, Finn Balor does the gunshot, and then Adam Cole super kicks Finn Balor directly in the face. And part of me wanted to give up, to stand up and give that man a standing ovation, because it's about time, because honestly, a face Undisputed Era makes me want to vomit. And but the surprise was Kyle O'Reilly actually wasn't okay with that, and Roderick Strong was confused. So, and to me, it's not confusing. Kyle O'Reilly was basically like yelling at Adam Cole. He was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Whatever. And then Adam Cole, took out Kyle O'Reilly, laid him out. And then, Adam Cole basically, like, he had the cynical look on his face. He got out of the ring and walked away. And then, Roderick Strong just looked at Finn Balor laid out, looked at Kyle O'Reilly laid out, and then Roderick Strong just looked confused as though he didn't know which side to take. And I'm actually into this now because, like I said, I hated the face Undisputed Era. I thought it was kind of boring. Like it was a little whack. But I like the deception among the ranks now because, Adam Cole's always been the star. And then Kyle O'Reilly, he turned himself into the star. So I see this feud now being a situation where Adam Cole's going to come out on Wednesday and he's going to be like, oh, all of 2020. Well, not 2020, but basically like 2019 going into 2020 until he lost the belt to Keith Lee. Adam Cole's going to be like, oh, I was the man. It was all about Adam Cole, baby. Like I was number one on top. And then Kyle O'Reilly tried to take my shine. I'm the leader of the Undisputed Era. It's basically going to be a jealousy arc where he's just going to be jealous over the fact that Kyle O'Reilly, is taking his spot, trying to take his spot or like trying to be the man. And we're obviously going to get an Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly match. We're going to get an Adam Cole versus Finn Balor match. Might even get a triple threat match. But the key here is, where does Roderick Strong play into the whole mix? Like, which side is he going to take? Is he going to join Kyle O'Reilly? Is he part of the setup with Adam Cole? So there's a lot of interesting things here, and this was the most interesting thing of the night. I mean, the pay-per-view wasn't bad. Overall, like, I give the show an 8 because it was a solid show. Like, the wrestling was good, the action was good. The problem with the pay-per-view was just like all the outcomes, were, like they were, with the exception of the Dusty Road Classic tag matches, both matches, all the other matches were obvious. Like, we only got 5 matches, which is a standard NXT, situation, but, sometimes we could have got more. There was no men's tag match, tonight, so, like, certain people were missing, no. There was Dexter Lumis didn't wrestle. They could have had Dexter Lumis versus the kid, the kid that would I don't forgot his name now. The kid who hangs out with Johnny Gargano. Like, the two of them could have had a match on the pre-show or something. So like I said, it's just little things like that where, it kind of falls short, where it's like, it could be better. I am excited about Eli Drake, or ML Knight, whatever he called himself. So there's a lot of good here. But because the wrestling was solid, because it was an entertaining wrestling program, I do give it an 8. But again, aside from the wrestling, the rest of it was pretty much predictable, but the ending did save it. So that was it. That was my thoughts on NXT TakeOver Vengeance V-Day, everybody. Let me know in the comment section what you thought of what did you think of the pay-per-view? Where do you think certain feuds are going to go based on certain outcomes? And what do you think of the Undisputed Era half turn with the with the group and where it goes forward? Check me out on social media. Leave a comment, like, and or subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you'll know when new videos pop up. We got Batwoman coming up later on. We got WandaVision coming up, Black Lightning, Superman's coming up soon, and we're also doing Street Fighter because the new Street Fighter content comes out on the 22nd. I'll be here for it all. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time for NXT Vengeance, I'm out this bitch.